think boxing-wise, I'm going to give Canelo fifth. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
He left unsaid. I understand he left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view. Like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing it smartly.
Well, people say that Canelo was going down, and he had done enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So. Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith has weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's noticeably bigger frame ahead of the showdown with Terence Crawford, raising questions about how the size difference could shape the fight. While Smith credits Crawford as the more skilled boxer, he cautions that if Crawford can't generate enough power to keep Canelo honest, the matchup could tilt against him. His comments underscore the looming concern that physical disparity might play a decisive role in this highly anticipated clash.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer as great as Canelo is. The season that he is, 5 fights, if I recall, on his record. Boxing-wise, I'm going to give Canelo fifth. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But he can't hurt Canelo. You can't keep him off. Because it's a legacy fight. He believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's longtime trainer, has pushed back against long-standing allegations linking his gym to performance-enhancing substances. Critics have accused Reynoso of enabling or providing banned substances to fighters under his guidance, but he firmly denies any involvement. Reynoso emphasized that his fighters, including Canelo, are responsible for their own nutrition and dietary choices, while his role is strictly focused on training, strategy, and mental preparation. Ahead of the Crawford fight, speculation has intensified, prompting Reynoso to clarify his role in the gym and distinguish it from external narratives about performance or physique.
Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snacks. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic changes. Get Nello on Snacks. Hey, brother, Nello on Snacks with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt, brother, please.
While Eddie Reynoso has trained multiple fighters, 7 by some reports, who have failed PED tests during their careers, he insists this should not cast doubt on Canelo Alvarez. Reynoso stresses that each situation must be judged individually and that fighters themselves are ultimately accountable for what they consume. In Canelo's case, he maintains the champion has always followed a clean program and exercised extreme caution with both food and supplements.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC. Maybe use their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence. Put it that way. Again, that's not true. I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's strength coach has issued a fiery prediction ahead of the blockbuster showdown with Canelo Alvarez, boldly claiming that Crawford will break the beast out of Canelo. Speaking with unwavering confidence, he insisted the team is fully prepared and believes Crawford's power, conditioning, and tireless work ethic will neutralize Canelo's size and experience. The coach emphasized that their training camp has been laser-focused on both strength and stamina, ensuring Crawford can match the champion in every department. His declaration only adds more heat to the build-up, fueling debate over whether Crawford's power at a higher weight will be enough to rattle a seasoned warrior like Canelo.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a partner. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray has shared his perspective on the upcoming clash, describing it as a great fight between two champions with extraordinary legacies. He praised Canelo Alvarez for his sustained excellence across multiple weight classes, while also crediting Terence Crawford for his dominance in his own division. Gray emphasized that the matchup is about more than titles, it's a battle for legacy, with both men determined to cement their place in boxing history.
Standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dog fight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off 12 rounds.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced strong doubts about Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, stressing the importance of size in boxing. Sanchez reminded fans that weight divisions exist for a reason. While skill is vital, natural size and strength often prove decisive. He argued that Canelo's power at his natural weight will present a major challenge for Crawford, who is moving up to face him. Even with Crawford's elite talent, Sanchez believes overcoming such physical disadvantages will be an uphill battle.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights, and guys who are great fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So I don't know how that combination ends up. The weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame, and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
One follow-up. Do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. believes that in a matchup like this, the naturally bigger fighter typically holds the advantage, giving Canelo Alvarez the edge on paper. However, he also pointed out that Canelo has shown signs of vulnerability in some of his recent performances, which could provide an opening for Terence Crawford. Lennon's balanced perspective highlights that while size is a crucial factor, form and strategy could ultimately decide the outcome of September's super fight.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division, and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. You talk about a guy in Canelo who's really only that outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the fifth or sixth round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions, you know.
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night?
Well, I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3 years.
Undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson has voiced strong confidence in Terence Crawford, calling him the best in his weight class and insisting that his elite skill set can overcome even a bigger, stronger opponent like Canelo Alvarez. Stevenson's endorsement carries weight given his own proven talent and credibility, underscoring the respect Crawford commands among top fighters. His remarks reflect a wider belief within the boxing community that size alone won't dictate the outcome, a perspective that makes this matchup one of the most intriguing and highly anticipated showdowns in the sport today.
Fight in September. How do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, you know, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, you know, with the Crawford moving up, you know, he was 135-pound champion. He had 40, you know, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54 is 68 too much. You know, that's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but you know, Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and you know, two fighters in the pound for pound best, you know, getting it on. That's nice boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But yeah, if he doesn't, you know, you always wonder. Well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So,
yes.
You know, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be amazing.